Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the B-Leaguers podcast, brought to you by the Koyo Store. Head to thekoyostore.com/theb-leaguers to pick up all of your officially licensed paraphernalia from Ubisoft, and don't forget to use code ALLCAPS B-Leaguers for 5% off any order on the Koyo Store website. Welcome back. It is the week of June 17th to 24th, if I can do fucking math correctly. It's been a minute, obviously. It's been a few weeks since our last show. We've had interruptions. I also just haven't felt like doing it, so place all the blame on me. As you can see by the numerous screenshots of text messages that Samuel over here has dispersed to the subreddit, it is clearly on my end as to why this has not happened yet. So welcome back. We're finally getting this shit out of the way.
We finally dug you out of your cave.
Finally. Yeah, exactly.
It took a little bit.
It took a minute, but I'm here.
There you go.
So there's a lot to discuss, obviously. There's Vegas, which Stokes was in, I was not. And there has also been a shit ton of roster moves on, obviously, that a lot of people saw, and I didn't expect it to garner this much traction. The Raleigh qualifiers are also well underway, and I'll touch on all that later. But let's start off with some roster moves, give general opinions. I've long said that you can't really make accurate predictions based off of roster moves, but fuck it. This is the show where we throw all reason by the wayside and make up some shit for views. So here we go.
Thank you for clicking and listening to our shit opinions.
Exactly.
I don't even know why any of the Pro League subreddit or our subreddit even likes this podcast. We're just two fuck asses talking.
Oh yeah, I got no idea.
It's like,
it's not like our opinion is moral authority or something like it's written in. So it's just an opinion. Like I don't know. People love to debate it.
90% of the time, it's way too early, or it's over something that gets taken out of context. We were actually talking about that before the podcast too.
Yeah.
If you guys want to if you want to post something on the subreddit about the podcast, just mark at what point in time that conversation starts, and then have people go listen to it. Also, ask questions. Flynn and I will answer questions. DM us on Twitter or whatever else and ask us questions, because getting taken out of context on shit is very fucking annoying. So,
extremely.
Besides that point, you guys almost killed Flynn. God damn it. Don't do that, okay? I need him. I need him. All right. Anyways, besides that point, we will now jump right into things. By the way, you did not get under our skins. Fuck all of you guys at the end of the day. That's why Flynn didn't want to do the podcast, because he said, fuck all of you. So, anyways, moving on. Roster moves that were before Vegas. I almost said Milan again, Flynn. Before Vegas. So, this is what we have. We'll just go one by one, and then you give your opinion, I'll give mine, so on and so forth. So, first move we have is one of the top two teams in all of North America picks up the number one fragger. Big surprise, it's Hyper to Dark Zero.
I was confused by this. Just, I guess, the roles. I, again, don't have any problem with the players. I love all the players on Dark Zero, and I love Hyper. I don't have a problem with this, but I just thought it was strange that we were dropping more of a flex player in Jarvis for a fragger. I thought if they wanted to upgrade fragging directly, then Nyx, as their current entry, would be the person to look at on upgrading or side grading, or however the hell you want to rate this. Side grading. I don't know. It opens up more tools on the front end in terms of offense, like their fragging ability, but Hyper's flexibility doesn't really compare to Jarvis's, so they're two different players. I thought that was an interesting aspect of it. I still think this makes Dark Zero incredibly potent, even more potent than they already were. Just thought it was an interesting choice of kind of moving out the Swiss Army knife for a samurai sword. Like, you have much more utility and much more flexibility with someone like Jarvis, in comparison to Hyper, who has like one sole focus, obviously, and especially when you put that in tandem with another player who has one sole focus in Nyx. So putting those two together, I don't think to be the end of the world. I think they'll still be a damn strong team. Just curious about the whole structure of the team right now.
Yeah, I can agree with that, especially from what I saw actually at the LAN that they played. Obviously, the Vegas Minor was this past weekend, and if you guys didn't see, Team Secret won that entire thing, but we'll get into more detail on that later on. But this roster move for me felt exactly like what you're saying. They took away from versatility and just made it to where they do one thing really fucking well. So that can work out, especially if they play to their strengths. But I mean, if you shut down Hyper or Nyx, then they're going to have to put a lot of weight on the other one, and something could collapse. But if they build up the team properly and have a good base under it with their supports, I feel like this works. We'll just have to see how it goes. But with the result that they had at Vegas, I feel like the beginnings of this are a little rough.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Obviously, it's one minor, and the team notoriously has not had a lot of LAN experience in the last 2 years. Their game in Milan was their first LAN game since DreamHack Montreal, and before that, I think it was year two, season one, if I'm not mistaken. I could be incorrect on that, but I know they didn't play SI18. They didn't play in Paris, so again, I could be mistaken on that, but the team used to have a lot of LAN experience, a lot of repetitive LANs back to back to back, and then that kind of changed. They were the F third, the flip side that was always in third place, and it takes a minute to get your bearings on LAN, and the more times you acclimate to that, the better the team will be in the future. I think Milan helped with that. I think Vegas might have helped. We're gonna have to wait and see on that one. The good news is we know they're very good in best of ones in general. We know they're very good online. We know they're very good when they're in their comfort zone at the team house in Texas. So at the end of the day, I imagine they'll still do very well. There just seems like there's going to be a bit of a longer acclimation period than I think most fans were expecting. And again, that dates back to the whole structure change that I talked about, moving out someone who's very flexible in terms of role as Jarvis versus someone who's very stoic in their role like Hyper.
Yeah, it's more or less like butter knife or hand grenade, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, despite that, all right, Moringa going to Liquid. So, obviously, Moringa is going to be replacing Zig, who retired after quite a long journey here with Rainbow Six Siege. And I think everybody really loved watching Zig perform over the last couple of years. He's been an amazing person, amazing, I mean, just all around awesome human being. And it's sad to see him go, but I believe that it was the proper time. And I think Marengo was the right person for the job. And Liquid looked really fucking good at Vegas, specifically Marenga, actually. Him and PSK put a lot of work in for that team. And obviously, you can't discount Nesk. They had a lot of really quick takes at Vegas, and Marengo was right there by their side. So whatever they did scrimming wise to get him up to speed definitely worked out. So I really feel like it was a proper move.
Yeah, losing Zig, losing someone with that stature, it's difficult. It's difficult for a team that's stayed together as a core for a very, very long time, and won a championship together. There's a lot of memories with that. But if you also look at Zig's statistics for season 9 inside of Pro League, not the greatest performance. And I think, honestly, he was one of the oldest members in all of Pro League.
Yeah, he was 31.
Yeah, it's kind of understandable to see how things may have fallen off a little bit. And I think you're 100% right with the Moringa pickup. After watching him play for Black Dragons through the back half of season 9 there, I thought that FaZe honestly made a bit of a misstep. Obviously, FaZe's results clearly blew those early assumptions out of the water. FaZe looks very strong after losing Moringa and picking up Ion, and honestly, shit, Moringa had a little bit of a stretch there on Black Dragons, just kind of retool his game back, get his mojo back, and he goes to Liquid, so they're going to be going head-to-head with each other again in no time, and honestly, Liquid, I'm happy to see Liquid rebounding here, because there were a few games in the back half of Season 9 where it looked like, man, if they just had their heads on straight, they'd be in Milan, and Immortals wouldn't have been. And it even came down to the wire there. NIP was 1 point out of making it to Milan instead of Immortals, and they threw the game ultimately against Liquid on Villa just because, I don't know, they just had a bad showing, and Liquid showed the fuck up and put them in the dirt and took away their LAN hopes. And I'm happy to see Liquid performing, especially on a stage again. It's been a minute. We saw them make it out of groups in SI, only to lose to Empire in the quarterfinals, and that was kind of all of Latin America's hopes on one team. And then it happened again in the semifinals with FaZe being the last team alive for Latin America, and I knocked them out again. I like seeing Latin America have another strong representative, especially on a LAN setting, because I don't even think it's LAN itself that screws up Latin American teams. I don't know what it is about it. It seems like the international play is more of the issue. Like they're very comfortable playing within their own meta in Latin America, but once they get more international, it seems to become a change of pace that they're not all very accustomed to yet. And I think the more chances they have in international lands will help that over time.
I agree. The more international play you get, the better you are as a team because it starts to round you. You know what I mean? You start
Yeah.
to experience new play styles, and I think that's something that every region gets locked in is just their region's play style. For instance, like North America, you always have two people that are just fucking Adderall out of their mind, just throwing themselves around corners trying to gun everybody, and you have the rest of the team trying to support that. You know, that's quite a few teams inside of North America, and especially with the younger crowd. So obviously, inside of North America, like we have like evil geniuses, which are more structured. They like to do things in order. Or we have like Wreck, who's like, hey, throw it at a wall, and we're just gonna have Lactin rotate around the entire fucking map and try and get as many kills as possible, and it works. So Siege can be handled in different manners, and it's good to see other people play it and try and learn something from that. So, by the way, Zig is 30. His birthday is September 20th, 1988. So,
Damn. So he's turning
yeah.
31 this year.
Yes, he is. So, all right, on from the Moringa move. So, also happy very early birthday to Zig.
Happy early birthday, bud.
So, and then
I'm
we're
sorry
just
that I'm sorry that I never really got to talk to you all that much. We've been to a couple lands together, and I'm sorry
I've
that
never got to talk to him, dude. I've actually
Yeah.
never talked to Nesk, by the way. Nesk is one of my favorite players. The only
True.
liquid player I've talked to is Sexy Cake, because it just seems like the liquid guys are on like their own like little clan, I guess. Like I don't really know. Like they're in just like their own congregation. You're like, all right, well, they don't want to fuck with the congregation, you know? Like
I mean, that kind of happens at events and stuff. Like regions will stay with their own region just because of language barriers and stuff like that, and proximity. Like you don't get to see these people all that often.
that's true.
You know, like we'll hang out with like APAC guys all the time. Like we're hanging out with most of Fnatic every LAN we're out with them.
Fuck
so.
Magnet, dude.
I'm so happy he didn't give you his fucking slides. You did dick,
Dude,
kid.
I was gonna buy the Fnatic 10 keyless keyboard as well, but then I was like, oh, it's not gonna get here in time. I was also not going to use code Magnet. I was definitely gonna use code Aces. So
You can do aces. Okay, I'll do Riz Raz for him because you said
Yeah,
you do Riz Raz.
I was gonna do Riz Razes, and then I was like, but I just like Aces more, you know.
Wow. Favoritism, bias.
I just like
Get
giving
fucked.
all of them shit equally. It's great.
All right.
So, all right, the
What's
next
next?
one we're gonna do in the order of thrice because we kind of have to.
Yeah.
So Crazy gets dropped, Dot gets picked up to Rise, and Factory gets picked up to Rise.
That's a lot at once. Dropping Crazy, questionable. I thought Crazy was doing really fucking well on Rise. So that one kind of came out of nowhere for me. The pick up a Factor we knew about, at least thanks to him changing his Uplay name and someone posting it on the Pro League subreddit a while ago.
Why does everyone check fucking names all the time?
I don't know.
What do you guys have nothing better to do than sit on R6 tab and just fucking look at people's names?
It's wild, man. It's wild. It's that or ESL pages. You know how many ESL page screenshots get taken to Reddit too? Oh my lord.
You know how many Twitter screenshots get taken to Reddit? Stop
true.
taking fucking Twitter screenshots to Reddit. God damn it.
True.
Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind, dude.
Unless it's me roasting you, then yeah, you can keep those off
that's
Reddit.
perfectly applicable. 100%.
So Factor going, I'll be completely fucking honest. I was surprised as hell. First of all, that Toon Squad picked up Factor in the first place for CL last season. And then again when OC picked him up for the playoffs, and then now I understand it. After having like a lot of visibility on Factor. That's the thing, is he didn't have a lot of comp experience, barely any, honestly, heading into being picked up by Toons. And yet, I don't know, he proved a lot to me, honestly, as a player, as an individual as well, not letting really the pressure of the moment get to you. When you're someone like that who doesn't have a lot of comp experience, whether it's in other leagues or other tournaments and stuff, it can get to you. You know, the nerves, the gravity of the situation can really hit you all at once, and it can affect your play. And, I mean, that's essentially a longer worded answer of what LAN jitters are. But I was really impressed with Factor's performance on Toons, really impressed with his performance on OC, and I think he'll make a great addition to Rise. Dot Dash as well came a little bit out of the woodwork there because he was underage for the longest time. And now he's picked up by Rise, a Challenge League-bound team. We know that for certain. So it's not going straight to the major leagues like his counterpart Bolo is. And we'll get to that. But I think there's a lot of potential with Dot Dash. I think he's an incredibly gifted player. I just wonder how the fit will be on Rise, is all I'm concerned with. Again, you lose Crazy, but you pick up 2 fraggers? That's interesting to me.
Factor's more of a flex, to be completely honest with you.
That's fair.
Like
That's very fair.
He can really do it all. So actually, early on, so fun fact about Factor, he was actually supposed to be on members only with me and Gavin. Like when I was on
Okay.
that team, yeah, we were actually supposed to pick him up, but we didn't. So,
Smile.
anyways, smile. No, but no, I know Factor's a really really good player. I've scrimmed against him quite a bit. He's an awesome guy. I honestly think that he deserves it. I think he's going to continue to show how well he knows this game and just how much he can do. Because obviously, there's a lot of players that impress us with just their frag potential, their aim, their movement, so on and so forth. But I think the main thing for Factor, kind of like along with Fultz, is just his IQ in the game. Like just that split second decision of I did something just to outsmart you. I might have good aim, but I can outplay the person that's across from me. You know what I mean? I really think that's what Factor brings to the table. So I like the move a lot. Crazy being dropped. I'm in the same boat as you. What the fuck are you kind of doing there with that, bud? But I think that the thing that just was strange for me about that is that Crazy and Acid went in there as a duo and they performed so well together, and then Crazy gets dropped. So it's got to be something internal that obviously we don't know or obviously we can't talk about. So either way, sucks for Crazy. And then Dot, I've never played against Dot. I know of Dot. I've played against Dot in ranked, but from what I've seen, Dot's a decent player. I think there's some stuff to kind of buff out. Maybe just a little bit of comms or miscommunications, because sometimes like when I was watching them from behind, because I was walking the floor a lot when I wasn't casting, because well, you know me, I just like watching fucking Rainbow Six. So I was walking around watching Disrupt scrim, watching them scrim, bouncing back and forth, and I could feel a little bit of miscommunication along with him. Like some of the calls that were getting said across that I could hear weren't happening, and I was like, okay, like are you gonna do this or no? Like so
Yeah,
but
I remember casting him back in season 3 of CCS. So this would have been this time last year, a little bit before this time last year.
he was playing like when Fish was playing CCS, right?
Yeah, it was much older CCS. I guess much more structured CCS with much less dropouts and stuff. No shade to CCS. I love everyone there, but that has been an issue. The thing with Dot Dash is that I observed while at least casting him, and again, this was a year ago, so things may have changed. And like you said, I've only ever played against him in like a ranked capacity. I've never scrimmed against him, never played against him in an official match.
And so I fucking slam him.
No, it was more that he would, I guess, he's very confident in these hit or miss plays, I guess, and it did bite him a little bit in CCS against some of the more structured teams, especially when pro teams were playing. But he would come away from them victorious most of the time as well. He took a lot of confidence into extremely risky plays in a position that he could have honestly fucked his team by taking a strike instead of standing reserved. But it worked out for him most of the time because he has that mechanical skill to rely on, and it got him out of a lot of tricky situations. So I think leveraging that and also just keeping a present mind on what your team's situation is. It seemed like he didn't care if his team was in a 3v5 or a 5v5. He would still take the same shots, and that worried me a little bit. Obviously, in CCS, there's a wide range of competition, so you can kind of gauge for yourself whether or not you feel comfortable taking those shots. It seemed like Dot Dash really didn't care who he was up against, which is a damn good thing to have. Not everyone has that, where they can really block out their opponent and treat everyone like fucking plebs and be like, yeah, I'm gonna walk into the server and I'm gonna wipe all of you. I certainly don't have that. I definitely gauge who's across the field from me and take it into consideration. Sometimes it does affect my play and sometimes it doesn't, but I think Dot Dash was a damn good escape artist, basically, from what I saw from him in CCS.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Oh my god, this person's petting a fucking alligator.
What are you doing?
I was scrolling through Twitter real quick.
I was like, what the hell happened to Poland since I left? All right.
This person is fucking petting an alligator, Flynn.
Hey, in that complex, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an alligator in there, all right?
Dude, I just sent you that shit on Twitter. You need to see
this.
that. What the fuck?
Oh my! Am I actually gonna look at this right now? The audience can't hear it or can't see it.
I don't care. You need this reaction.
Oh my lord!
It's only 15 seconds long. It'll be okay. This person's fucking psychotic, dude. Like, Jesus.
Hello? Hello? What are you Why would you do that? It's like you want to die.
Do you see that? Do you see that picture of that? Speaking of alligators, you see that picture of that alligator with a knife in its head that was just swimming in Texas or whatever?
No, but I believe it.
Yeah, there's this fucking alligator that had like a full on knife in its head, just like chilling in the bayou. Like,
Lord. All right, what's
no,
next? What's our next
no.
roster move? Christ.
All right, next we have Pharaoh going to Team Secret on trial.
I don't think that's a trial anymore. I'll say that much. Yeah, Farrell kind of fried the fuck out in Vegas, and I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, Farrell used to play for this team. He just got pushed back to coaching. So, I don't, people are really shocked. And honestly, I was shocked. I was. I'm not going to take the route of being like, oh, I saw this coming. Like, it's hard to be on the bench for a year. You know, it's hard to be on the bench for a full fucking calendar year. And you can still get in on, like, you can sub in for scrims every now and again if someone's missing. You can get in your odd moment, but if you're not religiously going at it, if you're not scrimming, you know, in the regular rotation, you're not getting it in any official games. Like, it's tough. It's really tough to stay at that level. And yet Farrell walked in and it looked like there was no rust at all. It looked like he was still the same fucking crazy ass maniac. And I loved that. I loved that from him.
I haven't seen a person that can walk into a room and literally just disrespect the entire fucking team in the span of like 6 seconds in a long time. And that man would do that on the regular at LAN. Like, they would just give him the info and it's like, all right, 2 dead. It's like, oh, okay. It's just the outplay potential that he had at that LAN was so impressive, dude.
It was nice to see, honestly. It's a breath of fresh air. I am a big Secret fan. Honestly, I love a lot of the guys on that roster. I love everyone on that roster, honestly.
I love Bonkers, dude.
I'm a big Meepy fan. I'm honestly a big Meepy fan. And
Bonkers and I are good friends now, dude. We're good friends.
Good. That's very good.
He was yelling at me from the stage mid game. I wasn't casting and I hear Stocks. Like, my ear comes off and he goes, "I love you."
God damn it.
I am Bonkers from Finland.
It's great, man.
So fucking, dude, he's so great. I fucking love him. Bonkers is amazing, dude. And then, like, this is like on break, like we were waiting for a technical issue, and I turned around and Leon's looking at me from the stage. He's like, "Hey, Stokes, what are you doing up there?" And I was like, "Casting you losing a game." And he goes, "We're not going to be losing for very much longer, bud." I was like, "I like it."
Oh, okay.
Let's go. Yeah,
that was like in Milan when we were in the front row, right in front of the EG bench, and on Oregon, Nate hits that 3-piece run out. Did you see when he like after that run, he looked over and winked at us?
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Feeling yourself a little there, Nate. I love Nate, dude.
I was like, oh, damn. All right.
There's so many good people inside of the Siege community, man. God bless.
Yeah. I don't know. Just that kind of bravado, and honestly, in a situation where you haven't played consistently for that amount of time, for Farrell to walk in like that, that's not a trial anymore. That's your roster. That's your starter right there.
Yeah, Farrell. That was just not right, man. The amount of disrespect to these teams' fucking strats, dude. Insanity. Absolute insanity. But no, dude, I went up to them after the event. I literally gave every single one of them like the biggest fucking hug. And I was like, I'm so fucking proud of you guys. And yeah, I'm just happy that they're back where they're supposed to be. And I really think that Farrell was that missing piece. Because I mean, look at them when they used to have Farrell and then they went away from that and things obviously changed and we saw a spiral last season, and that really sucked, especially after what everyone had come to expect after, you know, IDK and the Paris Major and all that stuff. So now, though, I believe that we are back, and I think that they're going to do an amazing run here coming up at the next major.
Oh, yeah, I fear for EUCL as well after the major. I don't have many doubts in my mind that they'll be back in Pro League for Season 11.
I don't even think they're going to drop a game.
Yeah, we could see another run from them in CL to get back to Pro League. Yeah, I'm a little terrified, honestly, for EUCL. I'm a little terrified, but we say that every season, and there's going to be plenty more teams that form out of the ashes of these major quals and CL quals and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. 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 All right. Then last roster move, and this one just happened recently. Pixel to 92 Dream Team after they dropped Drip.
Curious. Very curious. I think, I mean, I've known Pixel for a while. Not to throw any shade towards Pixel at all, or the entire team, as, again, we don't know the circumstances. However, I just felt like there were other options available to you with more pro experience, like direct pro league experience. That we're looking for a job that maybe could have suited a little better. But
Crazy.
but then again, there's the old adage that games aren't played on paper, and you never know. I mean, like I said, I've known Pixel for a while. I used to cast him all the way back in IEG, for fuck's sake. Played against him plenty of times. I don't know. That's a mystery one to me. That's a mystery one. I don't want to call it too early because, like, as always happens, is these are very, very early predictions and opinions and stuff. Like, we haven't even seen them play a game with the new roster yet. They obviously had some issues with Yardy or Drip or whatever the fuck you want to call him in Vegas. Pixel's a weird one for me, man. It's a weird one. It's a little deep down the depth chart, I guess is the way I'd put it. There's other names that I would put above him on the depth chart. Doesn't mean he'll do poorly.
I agree with that. Again, like as you said, I think the Pixel move was a little weird. I think that there was people that could definitely add to the roster that were more seasoned, to say the least.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see how it works out. I mean, this roster has proven that they provide something that a lot of teams don't right now. And even though that their play style is very unorthodox, comparable, I still think that they could at least finish middle of the pack. It just depends on what they can provide this season. We'll have to see. I think Doodle's gotten over every inch of shakes that he's ever had because he is fucking rocking people. Like that game that they had against Team One at Vegas was actually insane. So it was so much fun to watch. But I will say one thing though, T1 is actually insane. So
yeah,
didn't see
that happening at all.
I didn't either.
They looked so mediocre in the relegation game. So unbelievably mediocre. I like casting that game. I don't know. I just didn't see anything special. And they were long, drawn out fucking games against some pretty poor Latin American Pro League competition. Fuck, dude. I don't know. I don't know. They went on a fucking heater though. They definitely proved a lot of critics wrong against some pretty good teams out there, especially international play. We talk about that with Latin American teams. International play is a hard hurdle to get over, and yet Team 1 just walked in the fucking building and said, okay, we're going 0-2. But after we go 0-2, no one's beating us. So I don't really know how to gauge that, honestly. Like, we saw like Cloud9 win DreamHack Montreal and then continue to go on and not be all that great in Pro League. So this could be an instance of that, with a team just getting hot in a weekend. I mean, the same could be said for Team Secret. Or, I think the more plausible, maybe not actually the most plausible, but the outcome that I do believe is true, is that there's more depth than what we're really giving credit for. I think there's a lot of top focus, and I think we're kind of overlooking. I stand by my initial prediction that Team 1 did not look anything outside of the norm in the relegation game. I think they've definitely picked up a lot of those mistakes and honestly, like, fixed a lot of the problems that I thought they had during that relegation game series. I don't know. It's impressive.
They are extremely coordinated.
Yeah, that was not the case in the relegation game.
Yeah, no, because I went back and watched the relegation game again.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, like this doesn't really look like a team I should be looking forward to casting. You know? And dude, they fucking brought it on Coastline, bro. Like, they put 92 Dream Team in a fucking body bag on Coastline.
That's such a weird thing, too, because Coast is such an atypical Latin American map. They hate Coast. They hate it.
Yeah.
They use Coast in international play, but in regional play, they ban that shit first, no matter what. And yet, a newer team seems to be bringing a different edge, because they played Coast in that relegation game, if I'm not mistaken.
They played
And
Coast in every single game. They played Coast. That team played Coast 4 times, if I remember correctly. 4 or 3 times.
that is so weird. And honestly, props to them for understanding if this was the, I guess, modus operandi. If this was their motive, if this was what they came in with, they know that NA teams know that Latin America hates coastline. They know that we probably won't be all that structured on it, especially in international play. What if we just grind the ever-living fuck out of coast before we go in? If that was their game plan, I give them massive fucking props for that. Because that's 600 IQ, dude. That's 9 steps ahead.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing is that for the hookah attack that they did, they also opened up couches like the sidewall, and I don't see people do that very often, which is actually very surprising because, as you know, it makes it to where Smoke's job is fucking 10 times harder because he has nowhere safe to sit. And they would literally have
I'm aware.
Habana pellets. Yeah, they would have Habana pellets on the side couch wall in like 30 seconds. And the dumb thing is, because I talked to Thomas after this, and they said that they called for this adjustment earlier, but nobody grabbed the op in time or something like that happened. But they were able to do that twice in a row, and they got 2 free rounds off of that because they didn't adjust to a bandit or anything to be able to stop it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's interesting, man.
All right. Well, on to the next thing, and I guess this is something I'm going to have to talk about as to
What?
As to why the drop of Yardy was childish.
Oh, yeah, I saw your tweet. Have the floor, buddy. Have the floor. Yeah. I would also like to state for the record, I do not, I haven't even heard what he's going to say, but I'm going to just, this is you. This is not an us thing. This is a you thing. Take all the flack for it. I'm going to lean back.
Hold on, real quick. Number one thing. I'm not going to defend a racist. That is not how this works. So I understand what Yardy did, and I'm not talking about what Yardy did in his past because everyone already knows what happened. And at the end of the day, one of two things. Either he still does it and no one just knows that he does it, or he quit it, but people are still giving him flack about it. Either way, doesn't really bother me. It's a shit thing to do, and I don't personally do it, and I don't care for people that do that kind of shit. So, despite that, moving on, the reason that I believe that the drop of Yardy is childish is this. It was handled very fucking poorly. I don't mind who you drop off of your team. I mind that you do it in an orderly fashion that is business oriented. Not that, okay, you're just going to talk back and forth the entire time and shit talk and drop all these things on Twitter and all this shit. And this is from both sides, by the way. This is not me defending.
I was going to say.
No. Like posting a fucking header on your fucking Twitter saying not the problem from scrim results. Grow the fuck up, dude. Seriously. You're being a fucking child. Like, you expect people to offer you anything when you're being a fucking child? From both ends, dude. I don't care. You could have put that team in a backpack on every fucking game to get them all the way to PL. But if it's a majority over your minority, it's over, dude. This is how it fucking works. Welcome to life. Welcome to business. It's not a friendship. Stop being a fucking pussy, grow the fuck up, and figure out how this shit works. Now, from the other end, you don't need to post on fucking Twitter all this dumb shit about, oh, Yardy's doing this and Yardy's doing that and blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, Thomas. No one cares. The drop fucking happened. That's all anyone cares about. I don't need all the fucking background noise of your dumb shit. It's stupid. I hate dumb drama like that. It's so fucking annoying. That's why I tweeted that it's childish. I don't think it's childish that they dropped Yardy. I think that the childish thing is how they handled it. Grow the fuck up. If you want to act like that, then you're not going to get a good fucking org. No, you're not marketable. That's like me just sitting here creating drama all day. You think someone wants to give me fucking free shit and have their name attached to me? Fuck no, dude. No, that's not how business works. Pull your fucking head out of your ass or get a fucking light bulb. Like, Jesus Christ. It's not that fucking hard of a concept.
And there goes the rant. So, to put a lighter spin on that, let me say that probably doesn't just apply to 92. Let's throw that a much broader net and say that there have been a lot of instances in Siege, and somehow still recently, where there's a lot of shit said after the fact. Well, there's Twitter, there's Reddit.
Heavy's another one.
I can think of names. I'm not going to name them.
I'm sorry. I'm in rant mode now. Like
I can feel it. I'm trying to cool down the energy in the room.
You're good. You're good.
There's been a lot of shit.
Right, I'm done.
I said I wasn't gonna name them anyway. There's been a lot of shit said, a lot of social media places when it comes to people getting dropped or org pickups or regionality or any kind of fucking shit when it comes to this scene. And that happens in every scene. I'm not saying this is a Rainbow Six problem. And I'm also not innocent at all. I've definitely made my share of mistakes in terms of responding to shit that I shouldn't have or tweeting shit I shouldn't have.
Oh, you don't say, Flynn.
Hey, I've had my own problems, right? Everybody does. But as someone who is not the moral authority and the moral compass on these situations, but as someone who has gone through these situations and learned from them, who has actively tried to peel back their social media presence when it comes to saying these inflammatory things and speaking their mind without a filter and consciousness of repercussions, let me state that I think everyone in the scene could do a little bit better when it comes to airing their dirty laundry, essentially, on Twitter or Reddit or Twitlongers or fucking Facebook or Pornhub. I don't really care where you put it.
Pornhub's the important one.
It is. It's definitely the most important one out of the 5. I don't know. I guess the only advice I could give from my personal experience is understand that no matter what you say, everything you say will be put under a microscope. No matter where you are, no matter what situation you're in, every single word you say will be put under a microscope and taken 1,000 different ways than what you originally intended. And it's the internet, and it's very, very impossible to convey proper intent through text on a screen. If we're having this conversation one-to-one, I'm sure you could even put the statements that were said on Twitter in a different context or a different emotion, or honestly, just say them a little nicer, and maybe it wouldn't sound so bad. But it's the internet, and people will screenshot that shit and take it verbatim when maybe you were being a little hyperbolic, or maybe you were a little angry in the moment, and had you given it 5 minutes to cool off, things would have gone a little better. So
ask Yardy. He knows all about people putting things on the internet.
Okay, we're really coming out here. I don't know. I just think it's very evident, and I think what's happened as well is you don't see this a lot from the top tier teams who are signed to the large organizations, because one of the first things that happens is they get a social media trainer to come in and say, hey, if you do this dumb shit, fuck you. Don't do this dumb shit on Twitter. And I don't know, just social media and media management in general comes quite swiftly with these larger million, multi-million, $100 million organizations versus some of the more inexperienced teams to business and practices and social media and all that stuff. So we've all been there. We've all said some dumb shit. Anyone out there who thinks they're the moral compass, the moral authority on this in this scene, you're fucking wrong. I don't care who you are. We've all said some irreparably stupid ass shit on the internet.
Just watch Flynn and I banter on Twitter. Like,
yeah, true. And I mean, taken out of context, it actually probably does look like we hate each other, even though Sam is one of my closest friends. When it comes to any of those situations, just don't respond is the easiest way I can put it, or respond in a very neutral tone, or with neutral terminology, I guess. Your vocabulary speaks volumes as well. As someone who likes to swear a lot, and who likes to, I don't know, it's not even that I like to, it's just that I do. I have a very brash vocabulary when I'm personal. Like, even right now, I'm a little hesitant to just start dropping F-bombs and fucking turn into myself, even though I just dropped one. If you know me in a personal sense, you know that I'm not very reserved. But you can't mix those two worlds. And there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of things being just thrown out there without consciousness of repercussions. And again, someone who has committed many of these crimes. I'm not trying to be the moral authority. I'm just trying to speak from previous happenstances and say that maybe don't do that. Maybe keep yourself marketable. And also, just airing your dirty laundry in public in general. Like,
fucking
what?
Terrible idea.
Would you do this in high school? Would you fucking run into the middle of the halls for everyone to see and be like, I fucked that dude's girlfriend? No, you probably wouldn't say something like that so loudly for everyone to hear. And yet, the scenario is almost equivalent. You're on Twitter tweeting out shit. And I don't care if you make it as vague as humanly possible in the terms of a subtweet. People are going to figure that out. And honestly, subtweets, probably way worse than actual tweets, because they're going to take it to 50 different subjects. They're going to take it talking about someone else when you didn't mean to. Or you're going to say it was in a broad context. It wasn't about anyone in particular. But people will then infer, based on what you've said and the situations that have happened most recently, about who it's about. Just, I don't know. Just cool it is my only advice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also always remember this. Either keep it in DMs and keep it civilized. Don't start calling people the bundle of sticks and shit and then just lose your career over it because you're dumb. Just look, in a lighter sense of the word, Thomas is a great player. Yardy is a good player, okay? They've all made mistakes. And all I'm saying is that in order to look out for what could possibly happen for either of these people, they need to smarten up about what they do on the internet. That is all. I'm sorry that I came off as rude. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. But I will say this, okay? Sometimes I'm very brash, and one of those moments is when I'm very fucking annoyed at the fact that everyone just sits down and goes, yeah, this is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay to just come out here and just air literally everyone's dirty laundry, start posting it on your fucking Twitter header and everything else. Like, that's just, it's dumb.
So,
It's so dumb.
I'll actually tell you guys a story, which is really funny. Well, it's funny now. It wasn't funny for the last year. So this time last year, my team Powerhouse we were participating in the Challenger League qualifiers, and we were 4 games into the 8-round Swiss bracket that has been the general qualifier process for the last year. And it was 2 a.m. at the time, and the ESL admins said that we could reschedule a game for the next day if it was after like 1 a.m. East. After 1 a.m. East. So we reached out to the team in the ESL chat page that we were about to play, and it turned out to be Rainbow's team, Rainbow Ninja, who I'm now a teammate of. And we reached out and we said, hey, we want to postpone this game to tomorrow because it's within our rights. We have guys who need to be up at like 7 a.m., so in 5 hours to go to work. And we can't really be expected to play like another 4 hours of this shit. So we're asking to postpone until tomorrow, which every other team in the bracket had already done. We were the last game waiting postponement. And they put up a fuss about it, and because they didn't want us to postpone it, they wanted to go right now. They wanted to like just play the game out. And we weren't having it, so we took to the admins, got the game postponed, and then, like an hour later, Rainbow goes out and tweets that everyone on Powerhouse is scum between his toes. Turns out, a year later I find this out, that it was a joke. It was a reference to Little Rascals. And he didn't mean a single word. We did not get the reference to... So, I first talked to Rainbow a week and a half ago when we were doing like initial scrims and stuff to build the team. And a day before that, Chase had said, I DM'd Rainbow, what do you think about picking him up? And I said, doesn't he fucking hate us? Turns out, he never held any animosity towards us. He didn't care that we wanted to postpone the game. He just made a Little Rascals fucking reference that none of us caught. So for the last year, I have thought this man has hated my fucking guts because we wanted to postpone a game. Turns out he was cool with it the whole time and just wanted to make a joke. But because he tweeted it and because no one told us what the reference was, I went a full calendar fucking year, thinking he hated me. This is what happens when you tweet shit. You can't convey tone. You can't convey reference unless you actually put in there, this is a reference to something else. So, I don't know. Just, it's a personal story. The overlying message is, if you can read it one way and you mean it one way, 1,000 other people will take it 1,000 different ways. So whatever you put out there, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and if you're fucking angry, don't do something brash. Just fucking sit down and think about shit before you do it. It's not that hard of a concept, but again, everybody addresses it a different way. All right, so finally moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Flynn and I go on fucking 13 separate rants.
Yep.
Despite that, okay. So I guess we move on to Vegas.
Yeah,
If you wanna do
Vegas.
that. Vegas, where Flynn didn't get invited. Yes.
Yeah.
Best fucking weekend ever, dude. Didn't have to fucking see your ugly ass.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure you had fun with the other Rob.
Shut the fuck up, because I did not. I did not.
I guess let's just touch that real quick.
Okay, well, let's just do play. Let's do play day one. Let's soon TM it, dude. Yeah.
I just want to get this off because I've actually gotten a lot of questions about this.
All right, other Rob. Let's see it.
Yeah, other Rob. Here's my view on the situation. I didn't really want to talk about it too publicly, but I guess I'll try. Well, I'm in the spirit of disclosing things as neutrally as possible. I will try and disclose this. I was never contacted by Allied in any official capacity to cast this event. Neither were a bunch of other casters in North America who have done things like Challenger League or CCS or anything like that. To my best knowledge, from an outsider perspective, I assume that Allied went with this dude, the new analyst and the new host, because they were previous Allied talent. They had worked with them before in other games. They assumed that skills would be transferable, and they wanted to work with people that they had a professional relationship with already.
Correct.
It did not turn out well.
Correct.
That being said, it's an unfortunate circumstance, but it's not the end of the world. Like, they made corrections. I think the rest of the event went off beautifully. I thought the rest of the event was awesome. I thought the venue was awesome. The games were awesome. I liked the Swiss format. I liked a lot of what I saw from Allied and from the Vegas Minor as a whole. That talent decision, however, seemed to really stick with people. So, I don't know. There were a lot of posts about this on the subreddit, and I got a lot of questions about it. That's kind of the situation that happened. Mm-hmm. Leave it be. Hopefully, this guy doesn't have to feel much more backlash from this than he's already received. I'm sure he's received a ton.
Yeah, Rob works with multiple games and stuff along those lines. And just for anybody else that asked, no, they do not ask you who you want to duo with at these things. Otherwise, you guys already know what I would have said. I would have said Flynn because that's who I want to cast with. So didn't ask me. They just picked up basically all of the USN talent. So they got myself, Veli, and Blue. And then they picked up Rob and then two other new people. We had a new host, which was Lottie. Lottie did fantastic. She is amazing. She's an amazing human being. Loved hanging out with her over the weekend. And overall, just very, very talented at her job. And then lastly, we had Rain Day, who was the host of the entire thing. And I think Rain Day did fantastic. I think he did really, really good. And I was very excited to have him on deck because I used to watch him pretty often for his Smite videos back when I used to play Smite all the time. So,
yeah. So, talent decisions aside, I thought the event was fantastic. So Vegas, I guess, just ups and downs, surprises, upsets, good performances, bad performances. I don't really want to go through round by round.
Yeah,
that seems
forever,
there's too many games. I haven't even watched any of the games, so I'm just going off of statistics here and
I can tell
results.
You what I casted.
There you go.
All the other times I was hanging out with my family because my parents were there. So
yeah,
it was the first event that my parents went to, dude. So it meant a lot to me. Also, it was my first grand final I ever got to cast. So.
Imagine having
very cool
imagine having parents that support you with your career choices. It's wild.
Yeah, just get some better get some better. I already fucked it up. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Happy Father's Day out there, by the way, to my dead father. Happy Father's Day.
I knew you were gonna say it, you fucking
Happy Father's Day out there to everyone who had a father. Good for you. Proud of you.
Happy Father's Day, Bradley. I fucking love you.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there that aren't shitbags. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, we
Good
love
job.
All of you. Thank you for making great sons. Unless your son sucks, then fuck you.
I didn't know that today was Father's Day until I looked on Twitter. So
not like
there you go.
Didn't
need to care at all. So we're good there.
Well, two things. One, you hate your father, and two, he's also dead. So.
Exactly. Can't fix that one. Move on to the next.
Oh my I'm starting to understand why people love listening to this podcast so much. we say some of the dumbest off the wall shit.
Yep.
Oh my fucking god. All right. So, round one.
Round one.
Yeah, round one. So let's go with round one. Okay. So round one of the I almost said round robin. Swiss format. We had Nip beating Lestream, Dark Zero beating Airwolf, Penta beating 92 Dream Team in very fucking handed fashion. And actually, you already dropped a donut on that game, which was hilarious. So, sorry to expose you. Like you already literally told me. He was like, I had a great tournament, all except for the pentagram where I dropped a fucking donut. I was like, oh, that's harsh. That sucks. But then we had Secret absolutely bowling over Sonics, which they had Beastly in for Goddess because Goddess's brother's wedding was that weekend. So obviously, family matters are more important than going to a minor. That's just how that works. So, all right. Then up, we had Chaos versus SSG, which SSG won that. Rogue over Team 1, Liquid over DG, and Rise over Vitality. So that's round one. I'll talk about anything that stood out to me, by the way. Next up, we have Nip versus Dark Zero 7-1, which I was like, holy fuck. Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Next up, had Team Secret over Penta, Liquid over SSG, Rogue over Rise, Lestream over Airwolf, 92 Dream Team over Sonics, and that was actually very close, 8-7. Chaos over DG, and then Vitality over Team 1. I was very happy to see Bibu play, dude, in person.
Yes.
Very exciting. All right, then round three. This is where we have the highs, the mids, and the lows. Lows are whoever loses that gets knocked out, and then the mids are so basically how Swiss worked for people that don't know. You play every team that has the same record as you or is the closest to it. So, for instance, like, well, I'll suck Flynn's dick for a second.
Hi.
With Shrug, they're 8-0 right now in Swiss format, so they play anyone that's 6-2 because no one else is 8-0.
Yup.
So Flynn has to continuously put these NA children in the dirt because they suck and he doesn't. Like that's it. So by the way, also congratulations to you on that in public form, you fucking dickbag.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You just like I fucking hate
I'm so happy you have to say that.
Yeah. Dude, literally when I was like, I'm gonna get you a commemorative sweatshirt, you're like, no, the real treat is if you ever have to say my name on cast in an officially sanctioned match.
Yup.
Like, fuck. Like
if I make a play and I look over and I see you calling it, oh, I'm gonna stand up and give you the biggest middle finger of your life.
Honestly, that's gonna be the worst and best moment of my entire life.
There you go.
Like, all right, next up. So after we explain that, in the high section, we're going to have Rogue versus Liquid. Rogue takes that. Secret beats Nip. And then we have Lestream beating Dark Zero, SSG beating Vitality, Chaos beating Penta, 92 beating Rise, and then Sonic's knocking out Airwolf out of the tournament, and Team 1 knocking out Disrupt out of the tournament. So into round 4. Here we go. Round 4, there's only high and low once again. So lows, whoever lose it, get knocked out. Highs, whoever win it, just continue on, and the bottom ones move to the bottom, obviously. So next up, we have SSG beating Lestream, Liquid beating 92 Dream Team, and Nip beating Chaos. Then in the low section, we have Vitality knocking out Penta, Rise knocking out the Sonics, and Team 1 knocking out Dark Zero, which was a very big surprise to everyone. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming. That was a very weird match, to be completely honest with you. Again, that's the moment that I felt that Dark Zero was not fully online yet with what was going on with Hyper. So then lastly, round 5 of the Swiss format, which is the last round, which means this is do or die for everyone. This is everybody that has 2 losses and 2 wins. Okay, so you have to be 3-2 to make it through. So Team 1 knocks out 92 Dream Team. Lestream knocks out Rise, and Chaos knocks out Vitality. The Chaos one was a crazy one because Chaos 7-0'd Vitality, which we didn't see that on any of their stage games. They were grinding games out on stage. Yep. Like their stats, like nobody had a rating above like a 1.1, but they were winning. And I was like, dude, that right there is what tells you that kills don't win you games. Like, oh man. All right. So now we go in the playoffs. So the matchups were Team Secret over Team 1, Team Liquid over the matchups were Team Secret versus Team 1, Team Liquid versus Space Station Gaming, Rogue versus Lestream, and Ninjas and Pajamas versus Chaos. I will tell you all of my picks because I did not get a single pick right until it actually fucking mattered. Most of the time, I was actually just trying to. I'm not going to lie to you about this, and you guys will notice this a lot at lands that I've done previously and lands I do now. The only real area that I talk about predictions and actually do it correctly is on the podcast. When I'm at lands and they ask me to make a prediction, I try and go off the cuff because I don't want to match up with everybody else says because it just makes for a better story if they do win, you know? So I picked Team One over Team Secret because Nip looked really good against Team Secret. And I was like, okay, well, they kind of have the same play style with that Brazilian kind of shit. So we'll just pick Team One. Why not? Team Secret ends up winning that one 2-0. They actually had a really close map on Coastline, I believe. And then we had Team Liquid versus Space Station Gaming, which is, did I cast that? No, I didn't cast that. I didn't. That was actually Veli and Blue. So all right. So Team Liquid over Space Station. So they knock out the Space Station boys. Liquid looks really good. Nask is back to full form and he's just crazy, dude. He's crazy. He's really favoring Sledge right now as well. So then we move on. We go to Rogue versus the stream where Rogue actually looked great, man. I think it's the best Rogue we've seen since USN. So I'm happy that they're
100%.
finally found their. I'm really happy we finally found our footing with that. So Lestream's going to end up beating them 2-0 though. And then we have Ninjas in Pajamas losing to Chaos Esports Club 2-1. And I casted that game. That game was a fucking grind. Flynn, it was one of those games where like I just want this fucking game to be over. I'm tired. I'm dying. I don't even remember casting that game. Like I know obviously what the score was in the maps, and I can remember moments, but I don't remember a single thing where I was like, "Oh, dude, this was the call." You know?
Oh yeah.
I will say
I'm the
one
same
thing
way.
though. I will say one thing though. I think it was a team one versus Team Secret game. But did you see the pros don't fake clip, Flynn?
Yes, I did.
That was fucking great. That was an amazing, amazing thing. All off of it. A huge misplay because all that had to happen was Habana had to step into the fire and shoot him. But
Yep.
whatever. So, any context on any of those games? Did you expect any of this? Like, what was going on with that?
I think overall takeaways from the tournament, like you said, Rogue looked good. Team Liquid looked good. Chaos, I was very, I guess, confused as to where I was gonna place Chaos in all kinds of like predictions or how I was gonna see their season unfolding for them here in season 10, because they've had a little bit of a weird history, honestly. So like season 8, they were quite bad, to be fair. Season 9, they start out hot, and then for like the first 3 games, they're undefeated. They're one of the best teams in EU. And then for the rest of the first half, heading into SI, which they also didn't participate in, they didn't qualify for, they're just kind of aloof. They did not look like they're really in the game. And then they go on this stupid fucking run in the second half of Season 9. They miss out on Milan by a couple points. So I was very, very up in the air about what I thought of this team and where I really rated them, where I would stack them up against the rest of EU, because EU is so deep and so equal. It's very tough to call. But I was rejuvenated and re-encouraged by seeing this run in Vegas on LAN against international competition, some damn good competition as well. I was impressed by their run. I was very impressed by their run, and I think they'll do much better and they'll be much more consistent, I guess is the way I'll put it, in season 10 of Pro League for them. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. You're good.
Okay. I was just gonna say I kind of feel the same way about Rogue. This is also more of a one-off. With Chaos, there's more of a run there you can look at. You know, the entire back half of Season 9 for Chaos looks very different than the back half run for Rogue. Rogue did kind of just, like, pandered out, and they didn't really... I don't know, they didn't look like they even cared for the last 3 or 4 games, because they knew they were out of it. They knew no matter what, all they were going to do is either play spoiler or play to keep their spot. So... I'll be interested to see how Rogue does to start the season. I think this is much more encouraging, because I don't think a lot of people really predicted that Rogue were going to be doing so well. So, I'm happy with their performance. Going out against Lestream either, not a bad thing at all. You know, whether it's in quarters or semis or the finals, you know, going out against a team like Lestream and getting knocked out by them, it could have been anywhere in that playoff bracket. And I'd probably be saying the same thing about them. So, I don't know. That's just the luck of the draw when it comes to brackets. I don't know. Rogue looked good.
Yeah, I was very happy with them. Very happy with them. All right, so then we move on to semis where Team Secret beat Team Liquid. I picked Team Liquid. Again, here, I'll tell you all my picks. I picked Team 1. I picked Stay Station because I said that we were going on a trip, and honestly, I just did it because I wanted to say that. Not going to lie to you. Then I picked Rogue over Lestream, and then I picked Nipped over Chaos because, and actually the one out of that entire day where I didn't pick the favored team was where I picked the favorite team, excuse me, was Nip versus Chaos. Because I was like, fucking Psycho's been insane this entire tournament. Nips looks so good. And then they lose to fucking Chaos on the game I say that they're going to win. And that's when the curse started. All right.
And that's when the curse started.
Yep. That's when dude. Oh, Flynn, I have a screenshot to show you. I'll tell you about it later, obviously, once we get there, but it's hilarious.
All right.
Team Secret versus Team Liquid. It's actually on topic as well. Team Secret versus Team Liquid. Team Secret takes that 2-0. I picked Team Liquid. Anyone that lost, I picked. So Lestream 2-1 Chaos. And I picked Chaos because, again, that Nip game, Chaos was, they were with the grind, man. They didn't care how long that the game took. They just wanted to fucking win. And I respect the fuck out of that. I love teams that don't give a shit about kills, don't care about all that shit. They just play utility and they play to win. I respect the shit out of that, and I respect the shit out of Renewals. I think he's a fantastic player. So, lastly, we're going to have Team Secret versus Lestream Esports. And I picked Team Secret. I picked it when it mattered. So, funny enough, when I made this prediction for Team Secret, somebody sent me a screenshot of the Team Secret Discord, and literally all of their general chat was spamming, no, fuck Stokes. Now we're going to lose before we even play. Like, it's hilarious, dude. I laughed so fucking hard at that. So, obviously, as you guys know, Team Secret ends up beating Lestream Esports 2-1 in the grand finals. And one of the craziest games that I've ever fucking seen on Border. So, Flynn, I know that, as you said, you haven't watched much, but I request that a match that you watch today that you will have so much fun with, my friend, is Border, map number 2 between Team Secret and Lestream Esports. I'm sure that you heard or saw the screenshot of what was banned, but do you know?
No.
So, Habana was the first ban.
Okay.
Thermite was the second ban.
I like it.
Then they banned Echo, and I believe that they banned Mira. So they had no hard breach, and Team Secret wasn't on attack, and they played Montang every single offensive round and just tried to shove it through fucking armory lockers. And it was great.
I like it. I like
but
it.
But they
a
ended
lot.
up losing in overtime. So
that's tough. Yeah, that's interesting because I was streaming while the finals were, or the final day was going on, and someone came into my chat and was, I don't know, this was right before the Go For, I think. Yeah, I don't remember what was going on that Sunday. But anyway, someone was asking me about it. I think we were playing a ranked game. And someone was asking me, like, what do you think of, like, Team Secret? And I was like, well, who the fuck are they going to have to play against? Because if they play against Lestream, then the game doesn't really matter. Because Lestream already has a major spot, so Team Secret will already get the major spot. It's basically just playing for money at that point. Which is still nice, and basically what I said to the guy in my rank game, I was like, well, Team Secret probably need the money a little bit more right now than Lestream do, considering Secret's in Challenger League, and Lestream's in Pro League, and Lestream just finished up Milan. Like, they got money. Secret, they haven't done a whole lot to get some money lately, so I figured they'd be a little more desperate for it and trying for it. I don't know, I like that kind of ban, though, and those games that ultimately matter but don't matter. You know, we've seen those, like DreamHack Winter as well, the finals, with G2 and Penta. It's like, it matters for the money, it matters for, like, bragging rights and stuff, but at the end of the day, the major spot's already decided, so there's less on the line. So I figured Secret would be gunning for the money more than anything, and hey, look, they won the whole damn thing anyway.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to go down that line as well. I respect the fuck out of that ban. And
oh yeah,
honestly,
have fun with it, boys.
Yeah, not only that, but when they banned it, I looked behind me and I could just see Corey look over at the other fucking bench and just go, "What the fuck did you just do?" Like, It was so great, dude.
Yeah.
So great. But yeah, those boys had some fun. I was very proud of the stream as well. Those guys put up a hell of a fight. I mean, guys, the last 2 games of that series were 8-7, 8-7. That's insane. That's a long ass series. So,
That's a fun series, though.
yeah. But Team Secret ends up taking that 2-1. Obviously, they win. They also get the major spot, so we'll be seeing them in Raleigh. The stream, second place. Team Liquid ends up edging out Chaos Esports Club for third place. So Team Secret first, the stream second, Liquid third, Chaos fourth, and everybody else falls in line. So that would be the Raleigh Major. Or minor, excuse me.
It's the Vegas minor that gives you a spot at the Raleigh major. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm just fucking everything up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not
Hey,
gonna lie to you.
for-
The reason I fucked up is like my Google page like closed in a really weird fashion for some reason,
That's
and
fun.
it just threw me off for a second. So, anyways, we got it now. But yes, they will be at the Raleigh Major, and they won the Vegas Minor.
Yep. All right, where are we going from there? Are we going straight to Q&A? Did you want to talk about Raleigh quals? Did you want to talk about anything else?
I had a roster move. Oh, we need to talk about Uno.
Oh, true. Uno going to G2.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting. I thought Jonas was played in a role that was not really best suited for him. Best Jonas in my mind is a Jonas that has freedom to move and freedom to be aggressive, and he'll definitely get that on Mouse. I'm actually very scared of Mouse. I played the entire Mouse stack in ranked the other day with Alex. Let's just say Sleben was having a fun time. So you put Sleben, Gomphy, and now Jonas together? Oh, okay. I don't need to be alive anymore. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
Life in the first place,
fucking Christ, man. They were nuts, and obviously that was just ranked. They're fucking around. So I don't know. I'm very, very scared of this new Mouse. I think they'll actually do some great things in Pro League this season. I'm looking forward to it heavily.
I agree with you.
G2's G2. Like they're gonna do fine, no matter who their flex frag is. Like whether it's Uno or whether it's Jonas, fuck it, it's G2. We know they're gonna do well. But holy shit, Mouse. Okay, hi.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for the new Pro League season. I'm definitely not excited for the amount of Siege I'm going to have to watch in a week to keep on track with things.
Yup.
Like, because you guys got to remember, like, Flynn isn't casting right now. I love you, Flynn, but Flynn isn't casting right now. I'm casting and having to watch these games. I'm going to fucking die. Like,
yep.
I'm actually going to fucking die.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's insane, man. This new schedule, I mean, we heard about the schedule months ago, so this isn't new to us, but it gives you more off time in between lands, I guess. But like the double stacked broadcast days, I'm not a fan of that as a viewer, honestly, because like you said, I'm not casting anymore. From a viewer perspective, that's really tough, man. For someone who's like, it isn't even their job to be up on this shit. Like, if I was just a regular ass viewer, I still wouldn't want to be watching 10 hours or 12 hours of Siege in a day. There aren't enough hours in a day to do that. Okay, well, you have Tuesdays off. Well, you don't have Tuesdays off. You got to go cast USN. What if you want to follow USN as well? What if you're a big fan of competitive Siege? You're talking like this is another full-time job now just to keep up with Siege. If you want to watch every region of Pro League now. It was still up like, there before.
We have game day on Sunday and you watch your favorite team. Like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, no, now it's like 40, 50, 60 hours a week now if you want to watch everything. Like, it's tough, man. And I don't know. I thought the old format was good. I can obviously see the gripes with better teams who have to go to all these lands, and I say have to as if it's a negative connotation, but you know, I understand all the travel and stuff, basically never having any off time. You know, there's a 6-week break between the end of the first half of a season and the beginning of the second half of a season. But also, sandwiched in between those 6 weeks is a week of Major, which requires a week of boot camp before. So, realistically, even if you're only using boot camp as your prep for LAN for the Major, I mean, you got, what, 2 weeks beforehand, 2 weeks after? Kind of rest and recoup, and then it's another 6 months straight of that same schedule. So what, you're getting 4 weeks off every year? Yeah, that I can understand. But if you're a poorer team that doesn't really make it to every LAN or any LAN even, shit, you got plenty of months off. You ain't got to worry, right? So I understand
Exactly,
where
exactly.
I understand where the complaints come from the top tier teams that are saying, like, it's arduous, and I can completely empathize. I'm doing half of that travel with you as a caster, and I understand. I hate flying. I hate traveling. It sucks. I also empathize with the viewership perspective, though. This is gonna be 10 to probably 10 hours in one day of Siege for these double stacked broadcast days. I'm not looking forward to that.
Bad for him, dude.
Yeah, I feel bad for the
Yeah.
casters. I feel bad for the players as well who have less time to prepare now.
Well, also here's the thing, because everyone loves to give casters shit when they complain about times and all that kind of shit.
True.
Your pro players only have to play one match, boys. We have to sit there and we have to talk over all fucking 4 or 5 games for like fucking 7 hours. And just continually talk and talk and talk. And the only break that you get in between games is what, 5 fucking minutes? Like,
Yeah, it's more difficult.
Like, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love my job. But don't sit here and act like this shit's just like the easiest thing on the planet, because it's fucking not. Like, I'm not saying that being a pro player is fucking easy either. I know how complicated this game is. Obviously, I'm the one who has to fucking talk over it and has to know what I'm talking about, So, but it is much nicer. It would be much nicer if I just got to cast in one match. I was like, okay, cool, we're done. Like, but no, we don't have that luxury. So feel for your casters, respect your casters. If you see the casters are tired, let them be. They don't need flack. So there's a lot of work that goes into this, a lot of hardships, a lot of grind. And overall, it's just going to be a hell of a fucking series coming up for those guys. So
yeah, and it's difficult. I don't know. This new schedule, I'm not looking forward to it, at least from a viewership perspective. I'm not casting it. Not my job, but it's still part of my job to watch it, right? It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a lot of Siege watching. So, and that starts up tomorrow, by the way. For anyone curious, starts up tomorrow. Have fun.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, guess it's Q&A time, huh?
Q&A time, is it?
It's Q&A time.
All right. Got a Snapchat from Team Snapchat. All right.
Doesn't that just make you feel alone?
Yes, very. It's a video. I'm not watching it. I want to blast it into the microphone by accident.
Where the fuck?
Where the fuck what?
Do we not have fucking questions for this week?
I mean, there's the old.
Yeah, but did we go
thread.
through that?
No, we never answered. They're very old questions. Although there are some that are new or can be talked about.
Yeah, I feel like we answered most of these.
Fuck.
We fucked up, Flynn.
Yeah.
Boys, we fucked up. Oh shit in my ass, dude. Well, better save your questions for next week, fuckers.
Yeah.
Let me see if we have any oh, I love the amount of people that every time we posted an update on us not doing the podcast are like, podcast new episode every Saturday. Like,
yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Oh
wait, no, we got it 14 days ago. I found it.
Yeah. I'm looking through
so
this. I'm just looking through the questions.
So I'm just retarded. I got
it.
Okay. You pinned it. That's why I fucked up. So
I didn't pin it.
I scrolled back. I must have pinned it then.
Yeah.
All right.
Whatever. You want to do these?
Yeah.
All right. Am I doing the first one?
Yeah, because usually I go first. So.
All right. Would you guys be interested in live streaming your reactions to the minor games while they happen? Well, Sam was casting it, and I didn't feel like it. So there's the first question out of the way. Nailed it.
Right. That's from Wooly Ponchos, by the way. Thank you for that, Wooly. English Jesus up next. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, our Q&A section is powered by the fucking Koyo store. You guys can head over there to use hashtag BLeaguers. Use that BLeaguers code and get you anything 10% off from the Koyo store. You can even get some of them there Game of Thrones pins. Also, there's they're releasing a new pin series pretty soon for Rainbow Six as well. So make sure to go over there, get your favorite ops, pin them to a hat, pin them to a chair, pin them to your mother. I don't know, whatever you want to pin them to. Pin them to your dad. It's Father's Day. There you go. Anyways, so moving on from that.
What
English
dad?
Jesus. Exactly. Pin him to his corpse, Flynn.
I don't even know where it is.
Jesus fucking Christ. If you could change one setting in the match settings to make the Pro League games more entertaining / competitive, which setting for each and why?
What?
If you could change it, if you could change it, if you could change the comp settings for like what's played for what we cast, what would you change?
Entertaining / competitive. Honestly, it'd be entertaining and competitive as hell, but I don't think it's very viable long term. I think it'd be funny as hell for a show match. Do tack realism. Do you imagine? Tack realism, all recruits.
I would team kill so many people, dude.
Oh, 100%.
Oh my god. Okay, for my rule base, and Flint's probably gonna agree with me on this, they need to either make uniforms that are used for every single person and they are only used in competitive. That's it. And for that, make it to where it's just their fucking hitbox, because I don't need Bandit to have a massive head, and when I shoot his ear cup, it doesn't kill him. That annoys the shit out of me because I shot him in the head. It's just not his actual head because you want to make these stupid ass headgears. Next, everyone has to use their fucking default uniform. Everyone. Default uniforms for everybody. No black uniforms, nothing, because it's basically fucking cheating.
Yeah.
Like, dude, actually today, Flynn, doing my placement games for EU.
Yeah.
I died to a Mozzie on pipes and on consulate because his fucking helmet blends in because it's cream colored.
That's fun.
I literally peek at his bucket. I'm like, no one here. And the pipes shot me. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't see him.
Yeah, the uniforms definitely could use an overhaul as far as what's allowed and what's not allowed in comp.
Yeah, just like I already had a conversation with Stuart about this, but seriously, they need to make some uniforms that are just the hit boxes. Yeah, cool, dress them up, make them look cool, whatever, but just make them the fucking hit boxes. Why is that such a bad thing? I don't understand. If they're shooting at said person, it should be the fucking hitbox, not, oh, hey, we made this giant headgear that 50% of it doesn't mean anything. Thanks. Like, what? You know how much more accurate I would be if I actually knew what part of the fucking head to shoot at? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. It's annoying as shit. All right. Anyways, second question from English Jesus. Also, what would you think about being able to customize recruit with some small amount of utility borrowed from another operator? Actually, that would be broken. Not gonna lie to you. Could you imagine if you could take recruit with an extra Mira?
Yeah, then yeah, that's terrifying. Also, you're also like on attack, I can see it being a little less broken, but it's still broken on either side.
Double lions?
Yeah, double lions. I mean, double jackal.
Double anything is terrifying. Double
obviously
Dokkaebi,
obviously it wouldn't be like the full effect, right? He's talking about like one of those things, but
yeah,
like
but that's still like, dude, that's the lion being able to call you 4 times.
Yeah, that's
Dokkaebi being able to call you 3 times.
Yeah, and especially if you could change it too, like change the utility to whatever you wanted it to be from any operator. That's horrifying. It would fundamentally break the way a lot of the game is played. Like, if you know a Jaeger's up, you know you got to clear 3 ADSs. Surprise, this recruit has a 4th ADS. That fucks your utility count hard. Yep. You know there's 4 mute jammers or 4 bandit batteries. Surprise, there's a 5th one. You know there's 2 Kaids. Surprise, this dude has a 3rd. Like, that fucks up the balance of utility heavily. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you lose other utility because you could be taking like a Valkyrie on defense, so you lose those cams. But those situations, I think it could be abused. Like you said, 3 mirrors. Fucking Christ. That's
terrifying.
3 Echo drones, 3 Evil
Oh
Eyes.
Jesus!
Yeah,
Stop. Okay,
like
we're done. We're done. We're done.
we're going
My
into like dark, dark, dark territory here. I would rather see recruits with DLC weapons, but nothing
Yes.
else. That I'm
Yes.
fine with.
Also, why the fuck can't a recruit have 2 reinforcements?
That's
Like,
an
just
excellent question.
Just give him 2 reinforcements.
In the beginning, I understood because it was like during the beta, if you actually played enough to get 5,000 renown and buy an operator, then holy shit, you were like you were royalty because you had special utility and you had a second reinforcement. Holy fuck. It's 2019. Let's just give him 2. It doesn't make much sense anymore.
It's dumb that he has 1, and then if you automatically get recruit or some shit, or that can't even happen anymore. But
Can't
in the
happen
past, when you
anymore,
automatically
but
got recruit, then you had 1 reinforcement. You're like, well, I just fucked this strat. Like,
yeah.
you know. So, all right. Well, that's gonna be it from English Jesus. Once again, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Next one up from Night Swipe. Pineapple on pizza.
Fuck yes.
I love you, Flynn. Oh my god. Yes, dude. Next time we're together, dude. The event that's coming up that we can't talk about yet because it hasn't been announced, we're getting some fucking pizza and we're throwing some damn pineapple on it. Absolutely.
I wonder if they'll have it there.
Dude, they might. If not, I'll buy a fucking can of pineapple, dude. I don't give a shit.
All right, we'll find a grocery store.
Dude.
I'm down.
Dude, let's walk into a legitimate pizzeria there and just hand him a can of fucking Dole pineapples and be like,
put this on.
I'd like pineapple on my pizza, please. Like,
all right, bet.
Oh man, what is your favorite food when you're drunk?
Pizza.
I agree with you 100%.
There we go. Will you ever do a live episode again? Probably not, because we're never structured when we do these things.
Yes. No.
And also time zones will fuck it.
Yeah. Well, kind of, but you know me, I'm awake like all the fucking time anyway, so.
True.
We could probably make it happen at some point, and if it does happen, we'll announce it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, it's from Chris. It's from Uzumaki. So, by the way, the last question was from Diabetic Beer. So, this question is from Uzumaki. Would you guys be open to doing more video podcasts in the future while keeping the audio portion of the podcast to upload to Spotify/iTunes? Could make for good content on Twitch and YouTube. Kind of a secondary to that last question there, Chris, but that's something that we could probably plan for the future. But right now, my schedule's fucking nuts. So, I don't know.
I don't really know how video would help though, because like half the times we're just reading Wikipedia on our phones.
Yeah, well, like all they're gonna see is the other person on Twitter while the other one's talking.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Or you're just gonna see me vape every 5 minutes. Like, I don't see where the intrigue is to watch us while we do this. We don't do anything crazy. It's a podcast, right? We're talking into microphones. That's the whole That's the whole thing. So
ever heard of that thing of a face for radio?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Yep.
I have teeth for radio. There you go.
Oh, geez. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't remember what I said about you earlier today or yesterday in the WhatsApp group, but that shit.
You said someone made a rotate hole in between my 2 front teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was good. That was solid. I like that.
Thank you. This is one of my brighter moments.
Yeah. They're rare, but they happen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a fucking flare that sputters. So, Zephorian, I believe.
Already answered it.
Flynn, thoughts?
Thoughts on round one?
No, I'm saying Zephorian. Is that?
Yeah. Thoughts on round one matches at the minor? Question mark.
All right. Yeah, we already covered that. But again, we love you. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Super Mined, dude, you comment so much. We love you. Do you think Siege is done making new maps with 20 plus maps made already and only map reworks for the rest of year 4? That's definitely not the case. They just want to fix the maps that are fucking dumb and broken. What teams will surprise people the most in season 10? Secret.
Surprise the most in season 10. Tough.
Secret
I would
is
say
going to make a comeback. Yeah, I was going to say if you actually went inside of Pro League, I would say.
Oh, and CL is going to be Shrug in North America. They're going to surprise the most.
Who are those shitters again?
I don't know. Some fuckheads who went 8-0. It's no big deal.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No big deal. Smile.
No big deal. Smile.
Oh shit! I smacked the fuck out of my mic. Could you hear that?
A little bit.
Rest in peace, headphone users, dude. All right. Anyways, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Honestly, Team One, dude. I feel like Team One could make a really good run in LATAM.
That'd be interesting. I want that desperately just because I want more depth in LATAM. I'm sick of always
Same.
talking about the big four. I want to talk about it as a whole region.
Same. Them and also Aerowolf. If you guys don't know who Aerowolf there is, they're an APAC team, and they're actually really fucking good. I feel like they can actually make it into something big this season. So, all right. So, Super Mind, thank you again, as usual. So, next one's going to be Rainbow Lizard. I feel like this might have been asked already, but if it hasn't, in your opinion, what is the stupidest gameplay related change that Ubi has made in Siege since launch?
Do you have an hour?
I guess we're going into it, dude. We got plenty of time. I mean,
well,
neither of us are doing anything today, so
I don't know, dude. You could go down the list. Release Lion, release Ella, Blackbeard,
release Dokkaebi, release Jackal,
release every DLC up when they came out.
Yeah, every fucking operator in this game that's past, actually just any DLC operator. Buck is literally like, here's the issue that we're just going to talk about game development overall at this point. Here's the issue with Rainbow Six Siege. They only have like 3 to 4 ideas. They put them all on a board. They throw a dart. It hits the wall and they go, we're making an operator that does that. And 99.9% of the time, they make an operator that does something better than the previous operator. For instance, Buck is just a 10 times better Sledge. That's all he is. Like, at the end of the day, Buck is just Sledge, but better. That is all. So, they need to stop doing that. Like, that's the fucking annoying thing. You made a niche, and then you just made somebody else that does it better, you know? And this is something that MOBAs fall into, and I'm not saying that obviously we didn't need somebody that could obviously soft destruct from below, because it is kind of a thing that you would need inside of Rainbow Six Siege. But it is a start of power creep. Power creep is power creep's a weird thing to try and explain. So I would recommend, if you guys don't know what power creep is, pause this. If you're in a car, you can continue listening, but I'm not going to explain what it is. But either way, pause this, go to YouTube, type in what is power creep. The Spot Esports makes a video. The Score Esports makes a YouTube video about it. They're great. I love those guys.
So actually, if anyone doesn't know what the Score is, the Score used to be our third, in Canada anyway, the third sports broadcaster. So you guys know how you guys have like CBS Sports, NBC, ESPN. We had TSN, Sportsnet, and the Score. And then the Score basically, I don't know, because like TSN always did like, I don't know, they'd focus more on basketball and hockey. Sportsnet would focus on like baseball and nothing else really. We just simulcast all the football games. And the Score did like wrestling and golf and NASCAR.
What?
So they did some really defunct ass shit that no one really in Canada cared about except for a very niche group of viewers. And then they launched the Score Esports about like 4 or 5 years ago, and that kind of took off in its own way. So they completely just stopped being a telecasted company, and they went strictly online. So they still have like a mobile app that works like usual sports news. It covers all the big four sports and all that shit. But the esports focus is really where they're focused on right now, and they do make incredible content. But they also do have a strong sports journalism background, so don't think they're just like some random company that came out of fucking nowhere.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
They make a really good video on it. So, anyways, there's a massive power creep inside of Rainbow Six Siege, and it's super fucking annoying because all we do is get regurgitated things that are just 10 times better than the last. And if we continue down that trend, we're going to just continuously break this game into oblivion to where it's not fun to cast. It's not fun to play. All it is Caviera with 16 lasers off of her shoulders, and she's completely invisible and can fucking blow your back out at any given time with a gun that aims around corners. Like, you know, like it's, they need to like, look, gauge the community, take in some community ideas. The community's actually had some really fucking good ideas. Make those ops. Now, here's the thing. The thing about Rainbow Six is that they're not on the next season, guys. If you guys don't know, this is just game development 101. They are not on the next season. They're like 3 seasons ahead right now. The next season's already fucking developed. All right. Like they've already done map fixes. They just work on it. They come back and like patch up some things if something's major. But the next season's already fucking done. Like that's just how it goes. Like every single gaming company is like 4 patches ahead at the least. So basically they're already working on stuff in 2020. That's what you should be aware of. Like, this is how gaming shit goes. So obviously this is not from the bird's mouth, or excuse me, from the horse's mouth. This is not something I would ask Stuart, but just fucking simple gaming rhetoric around the fucking community of just what happens inside of gaming and how gaming production is done. That is how things, especially with gaming as a service, which is basically kind of what Rainbow Six is right now. You don't have to pay for a subscription or anything, but it's a long-standing game, and at this point, it is, yeah, you buy the year pass, you get all the ops, that kind of stuff. So it's like, it is, but it isn't. You know what I mean? So the issue with that is that they already had all of these operators in place, and they've already been developed. So obviously, they're going to get released. So going on down the line, I think that this season right now is the least potent that we've seen comparative to a lot, actually all other seasons. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not
I'm
gonna lie
happy
to
with
you.
it though. I'm happy with
So,
these ops. They
dude, I
aren't
love
bad and they aren't broken.
Yeah, I love
Keep me
Nook,
in
dude.
that sweet spot. I want
Yep.
extra options. I want extra
Yes.
versatility. I don't want an operator to come in and completely break the meta or completely
Yeah.
break the scene. I want other
Or-
options. I want ops, because you know how in like other games there will be signature either operators or signature plays that are done that, like, wow, that's one team's, like, that's their thing. I kind of want that in Siege, man. Everyone like sticks to the normal like 10 operators on each side, and there's no real, like, I don't know. There's been cases before where like Echo was really underutilized. Like Redeemer would get a big name for using Echo a lot. But outside of that, there haven't really been like crazy cases of like a team really utilizing one operator, and that's their thing. That's what makes them who they are. It's a trademark of theirs anyway.
well, Mitten Shields. That's about it.
That fucking shield ops. Don't get me started on shield ops. I don't know. I don't know. I just have this vision, you know, like for the Leafs on the power play, there's the thing called the Mitch thing, where it's the slap or the fake slap shot pass through the slot. And he does that over and over and over again. That's his thing. That's his routine. Matthews with the quick little wrist wind up on a snapshot. Like, each player in like major sports has like their own little thing, you know, the follow through on someone's jump shot, or the way their throwing action is in football, or a signature play they have on the ice for hockey. Like, kind of want like an operator at least to be played a certain way by a certain person, just so they have like their own little unique thing. I don't know. I have this vision of like more uniqueness with teams rather than everyone trying to follow a meta. But maybe that's just a pipe dream. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that aspect. And I think the thing is that they just need to bring in some new ideas, like overall. Like, I like what they've done this season. Warden counters exactly what he needs to counter, and something that's been extremely powerful for a very long time on offense. So I like him a lot, and he's not overly broken, which is fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like he kind of does deserve to be a 2 armor 2 speed. I feel like him being a 3 armor is a little fucking dumb, but I mean, we have a shitload of 2 armor 2 speeds in this game, so it makes sense why they did it. Uh, to add on to that, I really like Nook. Nook's actually one of my favorite operators in the game right now. She's so much fun to play, especially with my playstyle, because I like just outplaying people. It's one of my favorite things to do in any game. It's just being not only better, but being able to outthink someone. It's just, oh man, there's nothing better. Nothing better. And when you can sneak up on somebody and you just scare the shit out of them, and you can see it in their fucking eyes when you gun them in the face, it's great. Love it. So, also, using her utility correctly actually takes skill, and that's something that I want to talk about. The thing that is annoying about Siege is there's a shitload of operators that are completely brain dead, that are broken. Montang, completely brain dead, but broken. Maestro, completely brain dead, but broken. Echo, completely brain dead, but broken. Smoke, completely brain dead, but broken. Like, there's so many operators in this game that are completely fucking brain dead, but broken. They have a very simple way of doing things, and it's stupid. Like, and you guys might be asking why I'm saying that Smoke is stupid. Smoke is stupid because Smoke doesn't have a counter. Anything that does not have a counter that takes away time for free is stupid and broken. Like, that's just how it is. So granted, yes, it does take skill to play Smoke a little bit, because you have to understand timings, but a gold can understand timings. Like, you don't have to have that much skill in the game to understand it. It's not like Smite, where I have to sit there and I have to fucking grind out to recognize out exactly what is the best for this God or League, where you have to figure out what's best for this champ, what build do I need to adjust to go across from what I'm playing against, all that kind of stuff. And this, it's pick up and it's done. Lion, fucking stupid. You click one button and you instantaneously get information for free. That's fucking dumb. Same with Dokkaebi. You get information for free from holding up a tablet for 3 seconds. Congratulations. Whoop-de fucking do. Stupid operators. Makes no sense. But what I want is operators that require skill, require you to use your brain, and require you to be coordinated. Like, that was why Flynn and I had a conversation a while ago. I think we've talked about it on the podcast once before, but you and I talked about an offensive operator that used sonic pins to see through walls, but had a tablet to where you had a pulse, kind of like Pulse's thing, that pulsed out on the other side of the wall and gave you a read of the room from those, kind of like a sonar wave from a whale. And you had to use the utility at that time in order to get that. It isn't just you pulse it and you see them through the wall. Like, that's not how it works. So you have to have that person on the tablet and they have to coordinate the play. That takes skill. Whereas hitting a button with Lion and the guy takes one misstep at the last second of the timer and it pings him 5 times is not skill. Stupid.
Moving on.
There you go.
Getting you off your fucking rant, and I'm not even going to ask the next question because it contributes to the fucking rant.
No, we're asking it.
Why does Ubisoft want 100 operators if nobody in Pro League wants that? I realize the game is not built for Pro League specifically, but it doesn't make sense for pro play in a lot of ways. One thing I will say to counter that is money. You know how much fucking money Ubisoft makes off of op releases.
Also,
the seasons pass, people buying R6 credits so they can get them as soon as they come out, because, I don't know, they don't play that often, so they think, spending the $7 on R6 credits to buy the new ops is better than grinding out the 50,000 renown you need. Honestly, it's a schedule that is built around monetizing it. There's a lot of money in there, man. You were saying?
Yeah. And also saying very big numbers and then, delivering on said very big number is very good for games, because people go, oh, they're going to have 100 fucking ops, dude. That's crazy. I'm buying that game. So much variety. Little do they know, like, half of them barely get fucking played. So, it kind of works like any game with a shitload of people. There's some things you see very, very rarely.
Yeah, the ops, I certainly don't want 100 operators. I really don't, but hey.
I think that they need to stop at like 75 or even less than that, like 60, or finish out what they have right now and then go back and start fixing operators. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think changing, like they're doing with the maps right now, changing the current of what we have. Keep changing those to keep the meta fresh.
Yes.
Or at least drop down the number of operators you're releasing every year. Obviously, they won't do that because money, and obviously they won't say, or they won't do what I just said because money. I don't know. That would be my dream, but it's just not going to happen. Next question, which I guess I can give specific insight on. It's a 2-parter from Trip. First one is thought on how they've changed production companies of the Canadian Nationals, yet kept the same, in parentheses, broken ass, and parentheses, format. So the first part of this question I can handle because I've been involved with the Canadian Nationals since they were ever incepted into the real world.
Conceptualized.
Yeah, and conceptualized is very different than from being put into practice. But anyway, the Canadian Nationals originally started with Northern Arena, a company in Mississauga that used to run HUD. That was on TV on Jinx TV in Canada and in Britain and other places. That TV show is now ended. It's not a thing anymore, but Northern Arena still owns like the studio in Mississauga and stuff where we broadcasted out of for the Canadian Nationals. So basically there were 2 people. There was Carl Edwin Michel, who was CEO and part owner of Northern Arena, and then his partner Ari Zanarias. They were like co-owners of Northern Arena. Ari has left Northern Arena to make his own company, brought a couple people with him from Northern. So he's left to do his own thing and make his own company. So that's who the Canadian Nationals contract went to, was Ari's new company. So it's still half the team that was with Northern, but it's different direction now. Carl's no longer involved. It's just Ari. Ari's a very, very good dude. Very fun guy too. If anyone remembers the story that I told of being passed out in a construction zone in Montreal, Ari was with me that night. So we had a very fun night that night after the Canadian Nationals Season 2 finals in Montreal. I don't know. I think Ari's going to do a fantastic job. In terms of your comment, Trip, about the format, I think league format is just something that's simple to do. You online qual into the league, you play a 7-week season in the league, top 2 make LAN. I think it's better than, I don't know, hosting a bunch of qualifiers throughout the entire year, kind of like the USN model. But I understand where the USN model makes sense as well, because it's less actual, or it's more visibility and more chances for other teams to come in, and you don't have to broadcast as much, so it's cheaper on production time, it's cheaper on studio time, it's cheaper on talent. I don't know. There's trade-offs in each. I don't think one is inherently better than the other. I don't have a problem with them sticking to the league format, though. And then the second part of that question was, what impact do you think Stefan leaving will have on R6 as an esport? Also take note, this is the second member to leave the team recently. So yes, Carrie and Stefan have both left Ubisoft Esports. It's tough. It's tough because you build relationships with these people over time, and you work with them on a bunch of different projects and stuff. You understand where they're coming from, but I think people are a little too focused on the leaving aspect and not really focus on the on where they're going. Stefan's leaving to go to a brand new project, to go to Borderlands. He's community directing Borderlands 3. You've also got Carrie going to Nike. Like, there's big moves being made, and of these top tier AAA companies, or top 500 companies in the case of Nike, they're choosing Ubisoft employees based on their body of work that they've done with Ubisoft and with Siege as an esport in general. I don't see that as a bad thing. People move on. It's been 3.5 years. They've built this up into something that will last a very long time, apparently. And it's looking good. Are there corrections that can be made? Are there additions that could be had? Absolutely. But sometimes it's not the direction of Ubisoft that's at the fault there. Sometimes it's other interested parties that are making mistakes, that, or at least decisions that seem like mistakes from an outside perspective. With with Stefan and Carrie leaving, I mean, they moved on to incredible positions with two very, very successful and ambitious positions. I don't see this as a bad thing. New people will have to come in, obviously, and we'll see how they do, but I don't know. I think there's just too much focus on the fact that they're leaving, and not enough focus on where they're going, what they've done, what their resume looks like to some of these giant-ass corporations. $1 billion on the line here for some of these situations, and they chose people that came from Siege, that built Siege out of the ashes of what this fucking travesty was back when it released to what it is now. I'm proud to say that they've left. I'm proud to say that they came from Siege, the community and the family we're all from, and they've moved on to incredible positions that I don't think they even dreamed of 3 years ago when this all started.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think that, especially Stefan, I love Stefan. He's an amazing human being. I didn't have too much interactions with Velia. I talked to her a little bit at the Six Invitational, but that's really all I have from her. But she seemed like a really nice person. So, but besides that, I know that Stefan did a bunch of stuff with our esports scene. So we'll have to see who fills his shoes. But I'm very happy for them. I specifically happened for Stefan because he is amazing. His wife's amazing, and they've always just cared, man. I've never had a bad conversation with either of them. They're awesome people. And I'm really excited to see what Stefan can do with Borderlands 3, because Borderlands is one of my favorite game series of all time. So I'm actually probably going to have a Borderlands tattoo pretty soon, because I'm going to get a sleeve. So I'll probably have a Borderlands tattoo pretty soon. That's how much I love that game. And one of my favorite people inside of gaming production going to said organization, which is Gearbox, if you guys didn't know, makes me really, really happy. So I think he's going to do some really, really cool stuff over there. So besides that, yeah, it will definitely have an impact. We don't know what impact it will possibly be. It just really depends on who joins. So we'll have to see what that comes up with. But either way, I mean, at the helm of everything, guys, we have Stuart, and Stuart is fucking great. Stuart's great. He really cares. Awesome guy. There's nothing to be afraid of with people vacating their jobs to pursue better things. So I would not worry about it too much. So moving on from that aspect, we have Quincy up next.
It's just all about Vegas.
Is there a traditional sport that uses Swiss format?
That uses Swiss, not that I know of.
Not that I know of either.
Maybe tennis. I don't even fucking know how tennis works, so I don't. That's just a shot in the dark out of pure ignorance. I don't actually know for sure. It had to come from somewhere. We didn't invent this shit. Someone else did. We're just copying it.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So, anyways, what to expect from Swiss formats is upsets because it's only one match.
Yeah.
So you only have one map, and that's exactly what we saw was upsets. You have to be the absolute best on that map, and you have to win that map in order to move on. So, continuing on, if we do Swiss formats again, that's what you should expect is upsets. Nothing's going to go the way that you think it is. Next up, Diabetic Beer. Once again, thoughts on NA versus EU? I think the argument is kind of dumb because, factually speaking, there are only 2 NA teams that have 1 international lands, Reciprocity and EG. There are 7 EU teams that have 1 international lands. Year 1, Season 1, Penta, Youngtus, G2, ENT, Secret, Millennium, and Secret. While EU does have advantages over the regions in terms of teams, players, and practice, EU is still better. At the end of the day, I think that Flynn's going to agree with me on this. Fuck EU, and that's why the rivalry's there, because we fucking hate you guys. That's just how it goes. All of you think that you're on a fucking high horse, and you can all suck our dicks because
I don't agree with any of this, by the way. Just putting that out there. I don't agree with anything you just said,
look, Look. Here's my thing. I already know that EU is really fucking good at this game, okay? They're really good at a lot of things, all right, inside of esports, and that's fantastic. I think that's great for you guys. Good for you. The thing that I hate is when you rub it in literally everyone's faces, and that's where I go with the whole fuck you mantra. So again, I love all of the EU players. I love Team Secret. I love you guys. I love fan bases that love their teams. We've had this talk before. But at the end of the day, if it's a rivalry, it's a rivalry. So fuck you. That's how this works. But it's fuck you in a good manner. It's not fuck you in a I hate you manner. It's fuck you in a this is a competitive thing and that's how it's going to be manner. So that's how I feel about it. Is it comparable? No, it's just fun. That's the difference. So obviously EU is the dominant region inside of a lot of esports. Inside of Rainbow, right now they're the dominant region inside of League of Legends after G2 just won the Invitational. Or whatever the fine. I don't even know. I'm not a League of Legends guy. So, anyways, what's your thoughts on it, Flynn?
The NA versus EU thing, I think it's just people looking for a reason to shit talk other regions. Like it happens all the time. There's fan bases of certain regions. There's fan bases of certain teams. Everyone gets very, I guess, prideful of either their region, their nation, their team. Fuck it. I don't know. I don't like it. Doesn't bother me when people say NA lol or NA choked again or anything like that. It doesn't bother me. I don't really care about that. Am I an NA fan? Yes. Am I from NA? Do I want to see NA succeed? Of course. Does it bother me that an EU team keeps winning stuff? No.
The reckoning is coming.
It's fucking let the best team win. I don't give a fuck where they're from. They could be from Mars for all I care. If the best team won, the best team won. That's all I want to see.
Really does just suck that we choke on a fat cock every time it's important.
All right, moving on.
But hey,
this is a 5-parter from Baba. Do you think Gridlock and Mozzie will have a big effect on Pro League? Mozzie, yes. Gridlock, no.
I agree. Continuing on.
Number 2, what's your political ideology? Personally, a little left-leaning, but mostly down the middle?
Mostly down the middle, a little right-leaning because I don't like certain things, and we're not going to go into those.
We're not going to get into it because this is not a political podcast. Who's your favorite pro player, not team? Favorite pro player? Dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I want to hug them all. That's my answer. Yeah, yours is Nesk. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
moving on.
Anyways, yeah,
I was waiting for you to say it, and then you never did. So I was like, okay, I'll just answer it for him and move on. Your pick to win the Vegas Minor, Secret.
Secret, dude. Oh, dude, you know what? Good job, Flynn. High five.
Nailed it. 5. How tall are you both? I'm about 6'2".
5'11".
He's Tinder 6 foot.
Yep.
Six-parter. I actually didn't read this paragraph at the bottom. Not a question, but I think it's kind of sad. Fonkers left Navi right before they joined Pro League to join a team that would get relegated 3 months after he joined, and he might get dropped from Secret too.
No,
Doubt
it's not
Fonkers
sad. Fonkers is gonna be on that team, 100%. Fonkers is good.
I doubt Fonkers is getting dropped. That also does suck. And I mean, you could say the same thing about like Crazy and Acid going to Rise just to get relegated. Shit happens. What are your minor predictions? This is from Evan Charles in the last question. Secret's gonna win the minor. With both Empire and G2 making roster changes, which team do you think will remain or become top dog?
G2.
Yeah, I like the Dan change for Empire. Didn't like it in the beginning. Honestly, didn't look very good in Pro League, but obviously they'd already clinched their land spot by a fucking country mile and didn't have to worry too much. And they looked damn good in Milan. Got pushed to the fucking brink.
Like, yo, MVP.
Got pushed to the brink, but I don't know. They look good. I still think G2 is G2, man. G2 is still G2. I don't care that they've made a roster change. They could have kept the same roster going in, and I still would have been scared.
Yep. With Shoss and Sua sitting on the helm, whenever those guys want to win, they're going to win. That's just how it is right now. Until somebody can step up to the amount of coordination that they have. Because that's the thing, guys. Like, yeah, sure, they might have some good gun skill, that kind of stuff. But the thing that G2 beats everyone in is coordination. It's actually disgusting. Like, next time, like this major coming up, just watch how G2 plays. Like, I'm not going to pull a Jess right now and be like, oh, they're pretty easy to beat. You just watch their games and you figure it out and you win. Like, okay. But,
that's a bold statement, by the way.
Yeah.
That was bold.
Dude, I gave a little chirp to Jess on cast at the minor because who are they playing against? It was Penta versus it was the game that they lost on main stage. Hold on, I'll pull it up on Wikipedia just so I have topical information here.
Okay.
1 second. Un momento, por favor. There it is. It was. It's gonna be their game that they lost to get booted. No, wasn't that one. Was it Penta versus Chaos? Yeah, it was Penta versus Chaos. Okay. It was Penta versus Chaos. So Penta versus Chaos. And after the map bans get done, Lottie asks Jess, and she goes, "So, what do you think about that? Those maps?" And she goes, "Doesn't matter what map it is, offense, defense, any map. We're just gonna beat you guys." Like that, like in front of obviously everyone. And I was like, okay. All right, Jess. And then they got fucking waxed. And I was like, didn't really keep your word there, did you, Jess?
It happens. I mean, it's good to have confidence. You don't want to like what's your alternative there? You walk in and say, yeah, we kind of suck on this map.
Obviously. That's the thing. But like, here's my thing. If you can be cocky and you can talk shit, then you can take shit. That's just how it goes. Like, I like Jess as a person. She's great. But as per Flynn and I's relationship, if you can talk shit, you can take shit. That's just how it goes. So whenever there's a chirping moment and you can do it in a professional manner, you kind of have to go with that because honestly, it's fun. Like, this is how it goes. So,
all right.
Do you think either of the new Phantom site ops will be viable in Pro League? Warden is extremely niche. Nook could be used in some context because here's the thing about Nook and IQ together actually work really fucking well because you can read out where a lot of their informational based utility is, and Nook can just rotate through there and no one knows that she went there. So it's kind of a crazy thing that you can pull off with that. Just you're going to have someone that can, like, for instance, Kanto would be nuts with Nook because he's really good by himself. So,
yeah, it's definitely targeted
really solo op.
In comp. Yeah, it'd be targeted to someone who plays solo a lot. Again, seems very situational. You know, like there's the glitch thing that happens when she basically does anything but crouch walk.
You can walk normally, actually.
Yeah, you can walk standing up, but you can't sprint. You hit a Legion mine, you hit barbed wire, you shoot your gun, you do anything. Basically, there's that little glitch animation that will tip off where she is. So I don't know. I don't see her being. She also doesn't have very strong weapons. She has very close range weapons, which are good, obviously, because she's going to be creeping around and surprise butt sexing a lot of people. But outside of that, I mean, long range engagements as an attacker are kind of your favorite engagement. You go up against a fucking scorpion close range. Good luck.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, and I don't know. She might have some use. I don't see it really fitting in right now, but there might be like there's still a lot to be explored with her. So I don't think I'll rule her out for comp entirely. But for right now, I'm not seeing a whole lot of advantage in taking her over something else like a Thatcher or a Capitao. You know, there's other utility on attack that I would much rather have that would be conducive to a push as a team rather than focusing on that kind of solo mentality of she's the only one who gets her utility and she's the only one doing her thing on the other side of the map. The other four have to figure their lives out.
Mm-hmm.
Warden, I think, will be a damn good comp introduction. Kind of like, I don't know, I see his role as plant denial. Obviously, you want to stop smoke plants, he can see through the smokes. Cool. Kind of wish he had a nitro cell.
Yeah.
Especially having the MPX. It just feels like he should have a nitro cell, just because I'm so used to Valkyrie. But I don't know, maybe that would be too strong, being able to see through the smoke and use the nitro. It makes him too individualistic, so you have to call for one. I get that. The 3 armor thing I think just makes total sense because he needs to stay on site and tank a lot of bullets, because if he's looking through that smoke, he can fire through, but you can't believe that no one on the other side of that smoke cloud is just going to fire randomly into the fucking distance and try and hit you. So he's got to be able to take a few bullets. He's got to stay on site too. It's the only place his utility is useful. Everywhere else his utility is pointless, and he's just a Valkyrie if he's a 2-2 roaming off site. So he's got to stay on site, so he's got to be a 3 armor. I think it will be used a little bit. I don't think it'll be as useful as something like a smoke or an echo or a maestro or a bulletproof camera.
Correct. I agree with you on that one. Sorry, I'm so fucking tired right now.
No worries.
Oh, God.
The last part of that question was 6 pick and ranked. I'm down just because I fuck up my operators all the time.
Yep,
so it would just save my ass. But
just give me the comp settings. Just do it.
That's fine with me.
Give me comp map pool. Give me comp settings, please.
Yeah, the fact that like points are still on and we're doing pick and ban and 3-round rotation on non-comp maps, I'm just like, just give me all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even if, like, here's the thing. I understand that people don't want to sit here and play a fucking ranked game for an hour, but it's ranked. Go play casual if you don't want to. Like, that's just it. Also, then you just change the elo basis. Like, if a game's that much longer, give a little bit more elo. Like, that's fine. Whatever. It's just stupid. Anyways, as a side note to your nitro cell thing, I have no idea why the fuck they gave Kaid a nitro cell.
That is so fun. We were using that all quals, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Kaid's fucking dumb. The
that was
TCSG
amazing.
is such a dumb gun, dude.
It's fucking great.
Dude, look, Maestro and Kaid together is like, bro, just don't even peek sight because you're just gonna fucking die. Like,
I guess I'll address that while we're wrapping things up. Anyway, so I have gotten a lot of questions. Obviously, there's been a couple subreddit posts about me and the team. So for anyone who's curious, yes, I am playing comp again. That is our starting 5. It is me, Talon, Rainbow, Not Loading, and Cloudstruck. That's our starting 5. We did go 8-0 in the first Raleigh qual. We'll probably, based on winning that qual, be in the closed bracket, just because winning one of those open quals gives you a shit ton of points in comparison to finishing like 2nd, 3rd, 4th and shit. So that's our 5, and we're basically using this as warm-ups for CL. So yes, I will be also playing with the team, trying to grind and get into Challenger League for Season 10. There's the update on the team. And no, I'm not quitting casting. I saw that question a lot too. I will still do weekend tournaments and shit. Sam and I are doing a weekend tournament coming up soon. That's not announced yet. I'm still open to doing those. I don't have a problem with casting. But playing is my focus right now. There we go. That's everything. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Which means it's outro time. Thank you guys all for listening. We appreciate every single fucking one of you. Apologies again on the not so recent uploads. So
That's
we
me.
love you guys. Yep, it's all fucking Flynn's fault. Fuck Flynn in his face with a rubber dick. Anyways, moving on from that. Again, podcast powered by the fucking Koyo store. Make sure you guys use that code BLeaguers on checkout to get 10% off all of your beautiful pins and Rainbow Six paraphernalia. Again, you can go get some of those Game of Thrones pins, even though we were all very sad about season 8 and how shit it was. But all that they wanted to do was go and work on Star Wars. But that's a little bit off the cuff. So we'll end things here. We love all of you guys. Happy Father's Day to all of those dads out there as well. We'll see you guys later.